Have you ever heard the fish story that the fish were biting so good that they were literally jumping in the boat? Well, I've actually got a fish story better than that today. This is part of my series entitled 50 Ways to Love a Catfish, where we talk about all the wonderful ways to cook this great and versatile fish. Oh, I almost forgot, I did promise a fish story. What if I told you that I could create a dish that the fish would literally jump into your mouth? You're going to learn that in just a few moments. Welcome to All Things Food with John Woods. I love to cook, but I cook to love. So let's talk food. I have a very special guest today, a young student at Northwest Community College, Miss Erin Float. Erin, welcome to the show today.
Thank you for having me.
You are studying restaurant management, and what's your ultimate goal after you get your degree?
I plan on getting a management position for a high-end resort hotel, and then eventually being able to prosper with my goals and open up my own bed and breakfast.
Well, that'd be wonderful. I'm going to give you a little bit of advice from an old guy. Even if you're a restaurant manager or you're running a bed and breakfast, you need to learn how to cook. And I'm going to teach you a wonderful dish today called Catfish Saltimbocca. Do you know what that means?
I do not.
It means that the flavors of this dish are going to be so wonderful that the fish is literally going to jump in your mouth. Can you believe that? Let's look at some of the ingredients we have today that we're going to put together. And you're going to do the dish, okay? You're going to do all of it. I'm just going to watch and kind of guide you. But we have prosciutto, which is a type of a ham. And it's very interesting to read how they do prosciutto and the way they process this. And of course, we have some fresh sage. You know, we usually think of sage with Thanksgiving dishes, but you're going to be amazed how this sage paired with the prosciutto and the catfish and all these other ingredients will literally make this dish pop. And of course, catfish. We all know catfish. We're here in the South. We have two nice 3 to 5 ounce catfish fillets that we're going to dredge in flour. It has just a little salt and pepper in it, a little oil for frying the fish, chicken broth, butter, salt, pepper to taste, and of course you can't cook without wine, okay? I'm not going to tell any of your professors at school you're cooking with wine. And then we have a couple bonus ingredients here that we're going to use today. Not part of the original recipe, but we're going to kind of kick it up and make it our own recipe. This is a very famous Greek dish, and it's typically made with veal, but this is my slant to use catfish. And then we're going to add some shallots, some lemon juice, and some parsley. And oh, don't forget the garlic down here. When we're frying that fish in the skillet in a minute, I want you to throw that garlic in. And we're going to make it simple for you today. We always like to thicken our sauces. We're going to do it the simplest way. We're going to use a little cornstarch slurry over here. So are you ready?
I am.
Let's do it. So Erin, we're going to get started here, and we have this beautiful sage. We're going to go ahead and trim that up and get it ready for our fish. So go ahead and trim some of that for me. Here we go. We're going to need about 6 pieces. I like to do about 3 pieces per fillet. So let's trim off about 6 of those. Boy, doesn't that smell wonderful?
It does.
You know what, I've fallen in love with sage since I started making this dish. So let's go ahead and dredge our catfish. We have salt and pepper in here, self-rising flour, nice catfish fillet, and why do we put the catfish down on this end and the flour up on that end?
That way that we don't get too much flour and ruin our dish.
It's not, well, we don't get ruin all of our flour as well.
Either.
So typically when I bread something, I like to have one dry hand and one wet hand. So it just kind of works keeping everything nice and neat. So let's dredge that really good on both sides. Now this is the fun part. Go ahead and put your fillets over here.
All right.
And we want that presentation side up, which is perfect, exactly perfect. And you're going to pin the sage on there with the toothpicks. We want to remember that those toothpicks are in there when we go to eat it. So I don't want anyone choking on a toothpick. So let's go ahead and pin those and put the prosciutto on there. Nice little, and that's so thin and delicate, so we need to be very careful. And this is so pretty. When we fry this, it's going to be unbelievable. Pin the sage on there. Aaron, I think that looks absolutely wonderful the way you've done that. And what we're going to do, since we've been dealing with catfish, raw catfish, just like chicken, we're going to wash our hands, keep everything sanitary.
Yes, sir.
And then we're going to take this over to the frying pan, and we're going to proceed on with the dish, okay?
All right, sounds good to me.
Okay. So Aaron, we're now over here ready to cook this great dish. We're going to warm up our skillet, as you've learned. So we're going to let that get good and warm before we add our oil. We're going to add our oil in. Once it starts to shimmer a little bit, we'll go ahead and add our garlic, and then we'll add our catfish with the presentation side down, which will be this side right here, okay?
Yes,
I think you're good to add the oil right now. So we're gonna let that heat up just a second. Let's go ahead and get ready to throw that in. And remember, cooking, you know, we always have to control the heat. And we always wanna listen for the sizzle with the presentation side down. There you go. Beautiful. Well, that garlic smells wonderful. We just get up underneath it. Fabulous, okay? Remember, we don't ever want to, if something sticks, we probably didn't have our oil hot enough. And if something does stick by chance, we don't ever want to try to pry it loose. If you let it keep cooking, those proteins will release and it'll eventually break loose. So we don't want to mess up this beautiful dish. So. Man, it smells so good I could eat it right now. Oh, looking great, yeah, looking great. Yeah, just pick it up in the middle so we don't break that tail.
Oh, it's looking beautiful.
Okay, great. Well, if you think it needs to be flipped, we're going to get underneath it with a spatula and gently just roll it over, okay? Just make certain you get completely underneath it. I'm used to this. Go ahead and stick one up, but don't tear up the prosciutto though. Just roll it over. Roll it over. Keep going. There we go. Nice. Okay. Nice golden brown there. That prosciutto browned up nicely. And we have two options here. We can add all of our ingredients and finish it in the skillet here. But we're going to take the fish out and we're going to finish it in the oven. There you go. There you go. That's gorgeous. It's already jumping in my mouth. I'll tell you, man, that looks wonderful. You know, I told you that the shallots were optional. Just go ahead and throw those in and cook those for just a second. Here's the sizzle. Let them cook for just a minute until they kind of get opaque looking, you know, kind of clear. You're good. Just let them cook. Okay, I think we can go ahead and deglaze the pan with wine. And I love that. Woo! It smells good. And we're gonna let's let that reduce down just a little bit, okay?
So what made you come up with this recipe?
I like the chicken saltimbocca, and I thought, well, you know, let me try it with catfish. It's you know, the recipe's not original with me. It's an old recipe, but I just modified it to meet the protein catfish. So, and I think you're going to be amazed how good this is in just a minute. So we'll let that reduce just a little bit more. I'm going to turn the heat up some. All right, let's go ahead and add our other ingredients here. We're going to add our chicken broth. Okay. Let's do a little squeeze of lemon there. Very good. We're going to let that cook just a minute or two. Let's go ahead and put a little bit of butter in there. I don't think we're going to need all that butter. Maybe let's go say even half of that. So there you go. Put that in there. Go ahead and take your fillets and very carefully put those in here. Hold it in the middle so we don't break it. Okay. Now go ahead and take that. It's going to be hot here. I'm going to turn the heat off. And go ahead and place that in the oven. So we're going to put it in there, let it cook. Let's set our timer for about 15 minutes, okay? All right, Aaron, the moment of truth, the moment we've been waiting for, here it comes. Your first catfish dish, Catfish Saltimbocca. I think that sauce actually looks like it may be thick enough. Let's look at it. Yeah, we're good on the sauce, so we really don't need to do much to it. So let's go ahead and get ready for a presentation here. There you go. Very gentle. Okay. We're going to take a little bit of this sauce, a little of that garlic with it too. I like that roasted garlic. Doesn't that look so good that it could jump in your mouth?
It does.
So we're going to just take out these toothpicks. I'm not real fond of eating toothpicks. All right, there you go. How is it?
That is delicious. It's amazing. It's tender.
Oh my.
And the flavors are just very enhanced. It's amazing.
That's some of the best catfish I've ever had in my life.
Me too.
Absolutely love it. Thank you. You did a great job today.
Thank you. Thank you for having me.
So, is this going to be part of your repertoire?
It will be, yes.
You can repeat it?
Mm-hmm.
No problem.
It's a very easy dish.
It looks very elegant. It looks sophisticated.
It does, and I think the delicacy of it is it's not much, but it enhances all the flavors in the dish, and it's very mouth-watering.
It is, exactly. Thank you so much.
You're welcome. Thank you for having me.
Thank you for watching All Things Food with John Woods. I love to cook, but I cook to love. Be sure to like this video, share it with your friends, and subscribe for other great videos on 50 ways to love a catfish.